Very good evening, Jai Shri Krishna Guru. Thank you for joining Sai Satcharita Parayan. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha, Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha, Om Shri Saraswataya Namaha, Om Shri Guru Dattatreya Namaha, Om Shri Mahalakshmi Namaha, Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Sai Satcharita, the life and teachings of Shirdi, Sai Baba. We'll continue from where we stopped yesterday, chapter 28, a narration of visions. My obeisance to Shri Ganesh, to Shri Saraswati, to Shri Guru Maharaj, to the family deity, to Shri Sita Ramachandra, my most humble obeisance, I bow in reverence to the most venerable Guru, Shri Sai Nath. We stopped at verse 61. We were doing the story about Lakshmi Chand, how he longed for Baba, and Baba makes all the arrangements for him to come along with Shankar and take darshan. So let us continue from where we stopped, verse 62. Lakshmi Chand was a loving devotee who, rejoicing in the Guru's grace, was absorbed at Sai's feet as a bee in a lotus. Baba then said, "These wretches, they sing bhajans on their way and ask questions to other people. What is there to ask others? They should see everything with their own eyes. Why should they ask other people? Can a dream so true ever be false? Make up your mind for yourself. And where was the need to borrow from a Marwari and come for darshan? Is your heart's desire fulfilled at least now?" On hearing these words, their minds were full of astonishment. How did Baba know here that we had made enquiries on the way? This was a great wonder that Lakshmi Chand felt at heart. At home, I had a dream. In the train, we sang bhajans. But how did Baba know all this? Oh, what marvelous intuition this is. True, I was most eager for his darshan, and that I was short of money, which I supplemented by borrowing. But just see how he knows everything. Absolutely. The great gurus are all pervading. They know it all. They're all knowing. They only make you come to them. Like yesterday I was mentioning, they make arrangements so that you can come and meet with them. Come for the darshan so that you can evolve on your path of spirituality. So here Baba is saying a very important thing. I'm going to emphasize on that. He says, Baba then said, "These wretches, they sing bhajans on their way and ask questions to other people. What is there to ask others? They should see everything with their own eyes. Why should they ask other people?" This is a very, very important lesson. Many a time, I'm going to give example from my own Guruji's life. There are a lot of people who come to meet him. And during the course, everybody gets their own experience with him. And some, though they have a Guru, they just want to come here for whatever reason, right? His grace has brought them over here. But they have this doubt in their mind. So they want to understand what has been others' experience. So Baba is very clearly saying, it is very important that you experience yourself. You don't have to go on asking others. Like I mentioned, everybody's experience is very unique. Not one other, you cannot compare your experience to another person ever, okay? What you experience is what your innermost heart desires and that which you are spiritually within yourself. Which means your development or your growth or whatever the stage that you're in is completely different to another person. And the other person's way of looking at the same, the God or the Guru is completely different. So you cannot compare, you cannot ask saying that what has been your experience, how you are experiencing, who is he, you want to know. This is a very wrong thing to do. Don't try to come and test the Guru. Do not try to, have your doubts and ask people around. Don't ever do this because then you're not going to get anything. Yes, you have to come and experience yourself. That is why I keep saying this, as is your faith, so are your experiences. Don't have any doubts. So when you get the opportunity to meet the great master, go with that absolute faith and you will journey along. Like I said, whatever the Guru has to grant you, he has to impart that particular knowledge, he will give it to you, come what may. That such is the greatness of my Guruji. He will never stop knowledge the flow of knowledge to anybody. But like I said, they will definitely assess. Like Ramakrishna Paramahamsa ji has very beautifully said, the Guru is the greatest mother on this planet Earth. He is going to make, what is palatable to you, the food. Example, in Ramakrishna Paramahamsa ji gives a very beautiful example about how a mother makes different dishes of fish for each of his child according to their palate. Similarly, the Guruji is going to impart that knowledge and put you on the path of spirituality depending on what is your, what is your capacity, where you stand at a point in time in life, how you can evolve, and how much effort are you going to put. All these things matters. And then the Guruji, after assessment, he puts you on that path. And then it all depends on your effort, okay? Again, I come to this point back again. It is self-effort. It is how much you want to work hard, how much of effort you want to put to grow on the path of spiritual. Depending on that, you will evolve. If you just say like, no, I'm just going to be devoted, I'm going to do these things, and that is all your level of spirituality will also be. So it all depends on you as an individual. So please never ever compare your spiritual growth or what you have come to learn with another person. The moment you compare, then you're going to fall. And also please note this, my Krishna Guruji will always say a very beautiful thing. Please look into your plate alone and you eat what is there in your plate. Why are you looking at what is there in your neighbor's plate? And the same goes to the thing that he'll say, right? If you want to offer, just offer whatever you want to from your heart to him. Why are you thinking that somebody is offering something, oh, I cannot offer, or he's got a, he's got a silver plate, I don't even have anything with me to offer, I'm just getting some, just a tulsi leaves. Like Lord Shri Krishna says, even if it is a leaf of a tulsi, but when you give with that love and devotion, everything is equal to him. He accepts it with the same level of what another person who might have given him chapan bhog, the 58 types of food, whether it's a chapan bhog or you give him a silver thali, whatever it is, everything is equal to the great master. They do not differentiate. All they care to see is with what goodness, how much is your love in that. That is all they care to see. So coming back. At home, I had a dream in the train. We sang bhajans, but how did Baba know all this? What a marvelous intuition this is. It is not an intuition. Baba is all knowing. He's pervading this entire universe. He is everything. So how come he is not going to know? True, I was most eager for his darshan, and that I was short of money, which I supplemented by borrowing. But just see how he even knows this. Lakshmi Chand was astonished beyond words. All the devotees who, like the bees to a lotus, are attracted to Sai's lotus feet are also greatly surprised. Baba's leelas are inconceivable indeed. To celebrate festivals or to go on pilgrimages with borrowed money was an indebtedness that Baba did not like. This was the main lesson here. Again, you need to understand. To celebrate festivals or to go on pilgrimages with borrowed money was an indebtedness that Baba did not like. This was the main lesson here. So Baba didn't want you to borrow, Lakshmi Chand to borrow the money and then go on a pilgrimage or go to meet him. This is not something Baba appreciated. So Baba says, why didn't you have the patience? I've already given you my darshan. What is that so much that you have to borrow the money and come? So sometimes there is a reason why the great masters say, no, you should not take the money. Or sometimes they will on themselves make the arrangements for you to come. So it all depends. Later, Lakshmi Chand, along with other devotees, went to Satewada and with a joyful heart sat down for the meal at noon. Meanwhile, Sanja, which some devotee had brought, was being served, a little on each plate as Baba's prasad, and Lalaji felt satiated and happy as he ate it. The next day, Lalaji remembered the Sanja at mealtime, but it was not a daily item, and his desire for it remained unfulfilled. But on the third day, just see the wonder as to how and by what means Sai Maharaj compensated for Lalaji's unsatisfied desire. Jog arrived at the mosque for puja with sandal paste, consecrated rice, flowers, lamps, bell, etc. and began to ask Baba, Baba, what should I bring as Naivedya today? Naivedya means the offerings to the god. That is the word. It's a Sanskrit word. It is called the offerings. The Naivedya can be anything. It could be fruits. It could be flowers. I mean, you get the whole offering. So in that, the food items, that's called the Naivedya, which you offer to the god daily. It could be dry fruits. It could be anything. Okay. And Maharaj commanded, bring a dish full of sanja for me. Puja Aarti, etc. can wait. You perform them later. So leaving all the puja ingredients there, Jog at once went back and returned immediately, bringing him with him Shira or Sanja. Shira, like I explained yesterday, it's the sweet dish which is made of semolina. It's a wheat. It's the finely grained wheat, right? It's called semolina, or we say rava. That's what it's made of, and this is one of Baba's very, very favorite dish. So later the noon aarti was performed. The devotees had already brought their naivedya, and now their plates started coming up to Baba. Baba then said to his devotees, "Today is a good day, and I feel the prasad today should be of sanja. Bring it up here and send for it quickly. All should eat it to their heart's content." The devotees went and brought 2 vessels filled with sanja. Lakshmi Chand was already feeling hungry, though there was some discomfort due to rheumatic pains in his back. The hunger in the stomach, the nagging pains in the back had made Lakshmi Chand quite restless. But now listen carefully, O listeners, to the words that came from Baba's mouth at that time. This is very, very true. I will narrate to you my own experience. It's so stupid. But there has been, there has been many such instances, but I'll quote a very specific one which is very close to my heart. So last year, I was in Mumbai. And that was the day I landed on business. So I was in meeting from morning till literally like evening, up to 6:30. And I was in a very far off place, I think almost close to Vashi, that's Navi Mumbai. And I wanted to visit the ISKCON temple. Every single time, whichever city I travel, the first thing I would do is definitely, if there is an ISKCON temple, would love to go and take darshan of the Lord Radha Krishna there. So my Guruji's, one of his friends is a member in that ISKCON temple. He's not even a member, he's actually the seva there. He's an ardent devotee of Lord Krishna and Radha. So I called him and I said, I am coming, and please, wait for me. They offer this naivedya to Radha Krishna every single day. It's called the samosa. Samosa means it's made of the wheat flour, not wheat. It's called maida. It's called all-purpose flour. And in that, they make like a cone shape, and they fill it with all the dry fruits. So there's nothing spicy here. The samosa in Indian context means we talk about something savory which we eat. No, it's not that. This samosa, which is the naivedya, it's called the Maha Naivedya, which is offered every single day to Radha and Krishna in the morning. It's stuffed with the dry fruits. It's a sweet stuffing, and then it is fried in ghee, the clarified butter. So my Guruji loves that. So every single time when I visit, he'll say, bring the Mahaprasad. So I called his friend and told him, please keep this for me. I would like to come and collect, and I'll take the darshan. And then I started almost at 6:30. And so what happened? It started suddenly raining. And I was getting all nervous because ISKCON temple closes sharp at, I think, 8:30 or maximum 9. Yeah, 8:30 they start winding up and they shut down. So I was a little nervous that I wouldn't be able to make it. But then I said, no, why should I even worry about it? I will anyways reach there. If it is His will, I will be there at come what may. The traffic will go on. And I'm just sitting there in the car and getting restless, and I just want to be there. Whatever reason, it took me more than an hour. The traffic was dense because of the rain, and so it was going literally at a snail's pace. So finally I made up. I thought I was going to miss the aarti, right? The last aarti. Then I kept calling him, and then I told him, please, just be there. I will somehow make it. He said, don't worry, you come over. I'm waiting. And I exactly landed at the point, literally, when they started the Aarti in the night. They offer the last Naivedya of the day, and they do this Maha Aarti. And on that particular day, I think I forgot what day it was called, but I know that was the day when Lord Krishna, tapped the Radha Kund and the Krishna Kund had come into existence. That's the day, that particular day. I don't know what the name of the day was. And so there was a very beautiful puja. The Aarti was profound. It's so grand. And there was bhajans going on. The moment I just went in, I started crying. I just couldn't. I just sat there literally, and I was so lost in that bhajan and this someone. There was a very beautiful lady who was dancing, happily. She's completely forgotten her existence, and she was dancing. This is madness. This is called the love and devotion for the Lord. And then I sat there. And what happened was, I had this crave, like, you go to Mumbai, the one thing that you want to eat is vada pav. And I said, okay, forget now, where I had this intense desire on the way. I want to eat vada pav somehow. I said, I should plan. Because I was going to be there only for 3 days, and my 3 days were terribly packed. And the only time I would get out is in the evening, which is like coming from one end to the other. You're exhausted, and then you don't want to go out anywhere. So this intense desire to eat vada pav. And so what I did was, I was sitting there and having all this puja, and then after the puja, and he explained what this day was. So he bought a very small lamp. I believe that day everybody could wish for something, and you can light that particular lamp. So he made me light that. So finishing all that, I sat there literally crying and listening to the bhajan. And once the bhajan was over, then very cutely he brings me a bag full of the jewelry, the jewelry that they adorn for Radha Krishna. It was like I don't know what hit me. I was speechless, because that is the year I was searching for that. Like last year, we were going and figuring out and searching for all the jewelry for the Lord, so we could decorate our gods. That was the first time we started doing this. So for me, it was I was overwhelmed. I couldn't stop crying, because something that was my innermost desire, and he himself is saying, I want you to dress me. So it is like an order from the Lord himself. So that was one beautiful thing that happened. So after that, we went out after all the puja. I got this Maha Prasad, and I kept it with me. It was the most happiest thing for my Guruji. He loves it. So we came out, and he said it was almost like luckily I didn't miss the puja. Everything happened so beautifully. So came out, and we were like, okay, what do we do for dinner? So he said, no, there's a small counter. Let's go eat something. And then, when we went to the counter, he said, why don't you, let's eat vada pav. I'm like, what? You get vada pav? He said, there's no onion, garlic, nothing in that, but you can eat. It's quite nice. And he bought me. I was like, it's like, oh my God, I can't imagine every single thing. Without even me opening my mouth, all these things were happening. It's such a joyous moment for me. And then he gave the vada pav. So we bought the vada pav, and one bite, I started literally crying, because I've never tasted such a yummy vada pav ever. It didn't have onion, it didn't have garlic, it was nothing. There was no, they give all these condiments along with this red chutney, chili, nothing was there. But just that vada pav, it was heaven. That is what is called the prasad. When it comes from the divine, it's so beautiful. That desire to eat the vada pav, and I literally was satiated. I literally ate two, not just one. He said, okay, you have one more. And it's literally my heart content. You feel that truth. It's such a wonderful state to be in. And then when I came back, I told my Guruji, you know what? I've never tasted such a yummy vada pav ever to date. I thought whatever I'd eaten was the best. No, this was some other level. But that is the love of the divine. That is a blessing of the divine. This is how the divine work, When you're the true devotee of the Lord makes even the stupidest of your wish, He fulfills it. How sweet. I cried and cried and cried. Even now, just this fact that I'm saying, I'm almost in tears. I'm literally teleported to that moment. It's the most amazing experience to go through. This is real love. It's not about the vada pav. It is not about anything. But it is, how beautifully that the Lord showers His love to you, saying that, I'm there. Everything of you, I take care. That is what it is. And literally when those jewelry came, it's like saying Lord Krishna and Radha is telling me, you decorate us, you adorn us with all this jewelry, and that's the first blessing I got from them. And since then, there's no looking back. We try our best effort to, adorn them with the best of the things, whatever possible in our capacity. And the universe works for it because you're only focused on one thing, and that's called devotion and service. And you have to do that, That is how the devotion will grow. Your only focus has to be that it's not about me dressing and looking nice, but how beautiful can I make my Lord look nice, that is what it is. But all this has to be done selflessly. It's all about devotion, pure, within your heart, the purity of the heart. But along all this, it's not about now, see, this is one aspect that I'm talking about, but the real adornment is when you do all this, but when you have the goodness of your heart, and when you do that, that's like, you have the additional cream on topping, it's the additional topping that you have. That's the cream that you can have it on your cake or whatever, the double topping that's the best thing that you can ever do. It's the perfect blend. That's what you will be offering. So please always do that, have the goodness of heart with pure love, and you'll experience magic. Sorry to take time and narrate this, but I thought it's very important for you to understand how does this work. So coming back, it is good, he said. Now I think, yeah, the hunger in the stomach, the nagging pains in the back, and had made Lakshmi Chand quite restless. But now listen carefully, all listeners, to the words that came from Baba's mouth at that time. It is good, he said, that you are feeling hungry. There is pain in the waist, which needs medicine. But now is the time for eating sanja. Get ready for Aarti. Whatever was in Lakshmi Chand's mind was very clearly expressed in Baba's words, an echo without the utterance. Truly, Maharaj intuitively knew everything. Aarti was over, sanja was served during the meal, and Lakshmi Chand's desire for it was satisfied, making him very happy. From then onwards, love for Baba began to grow. Offering of coconut incense sticks, flower garlands became his regular practice. The practice of performing puja continued, bringing Lakshmi Chand peace and happiness. The devotion to Sai grew so much that if he met anyone going to Shirdi, he always sent with him a garland, dakshina, camphor, or incense sticks, etc. Whoever might be going to Shirdi, the moment Lakshmi Chand learnt about it, he would definitely send these three things with dakshina for Baba. This is again a very important thing. Please remember this, right? When you know somebody is visiting your Guruji, or if you come to know by chance, always make an offering. Like my Guruji or all of us, right? We have this, we follow this tradition which my Guruji has taught. If somebody says they're visiting Shirdi or somewhere they're going on pilgrimage, we will always offer dakshina. We'll say, please, offer this in the hundi is this piggy bank of the Lord. Yes, so you need to offer something. It's a respect, it's a love that you have to always communicate. It was now during the aforesaid trip that on the night when Baba went to Chavdi, Lakshmi Chand went to see the ceremony. Suddenly, Baba had a fit of coughing, which caused him great distress and agitation. Lakshmi Chand said to himself, "Oh, how troublesome is this cough! I feel as if it is the evil eye of the people that is giving rise to it." It was just a thought that rose in Lakshmi Chand's mind, but when he came to the mosque in the morning, just see the marvel of what Baba said. Madhavrao had come there too, and Baba said to him, all on his own, "Yesterday I had a severe bout of coughing. Could this be the result of an evil eye? I really feel that someone has cast an evil eye on me. That is why this cough is troubling me every day." In his mind, Lakshmi Chand was struck with wonder. This is just a repetition of my thoughts. But how did Baba know all this? Surely, he dwells in the hearts of all. With folded hands, he prayed to Baba, "Maharaj, I have been overjoyed by your darshan. Please be merciful and protect me always. Except for these holy feet, I now know no other God in this world. May my heart be always engrossed in your worship only. I bow at your feet, and O Sai Samarth, I now ask your leave to go. Please grant me permission and extend your protection to us, the orphans. Have compassion for us, always, so that this worldly life may not torment us. May we increasingly take to chanting your name and experience peace and happiness all around us. With Sai's blessings and Mudi and rejoicing at heart, Lakshmi Chand returned home with his friend, singing Sai's praises all the way. Another little sparrow was similarly pulled by the string and brought to Shirdi by Baba when the right moment had arrived for her to have Baba's darshan. Listen to her wonderful tale. The sparrow was a very affectionate lady whose story is most amazing. At Bharanpur, the lady had a vision in which she saw Sai. Never had she had actual darshan before, but the lady had a dream in which Baba came to her door and asked her for a meal of khichdi. The lady woke up instantly and looked around, but there was no one there. She hurried to narrate this vision to everyone. Her husband was an officer in the postal department in that same city. Later, when he was transferred to Akola, she immediately made preparations to go to Shirdi. The couple was full of faith and devotion and had a keen desire for Sai's darshan. The vision became a matter of fond admiration for them. Sai's Maya is really most remarkable. Choosing a suitable day, they both set out for Shirdi and paying their respects to the sacred Gomati Godavari, which was on their way, they arrived at Shirdi. Lovingly, they took Baba's darshan, offered puja with devotion and stayed on in Shirdi in happiness and contentment, worshipping Baba's feet every day. In this way, the couple stayed happily for 2 months there. Baba was also pleased with the khichdi, which they offered with so much love and faith. The couple had travelled to Shirdi mainly for offering khichdi as Naivedya. But 14 days passed and the khichdi still remained to be offered. The lady did not like such a long delay in fulfilling her resolve. So on the 15th day, as soon as it was noon, she came to the mosque with the khichdi. On coming there, the lady learned that the curtains had already been drawn and that, taking his devotees with him, Baba had already sat down to his meal. At such a time, when the meal was in progress, nobody would go behind the curtain. But the lady was too impatient to sit still, waiting quietly in the Sabha Mandap below. She had undertaken the journey all the way from Akola to Shirdi, only out of great eagerness to offer khichdi to Baba. How would that extraordinary enthusiasm allow her to sit quietly, waiting below? So without listening to anyone, she lifted the curtain with her own hands and entered with her offering, thus fulfilling her desire. And Baba also surprised all of them. He showed such a keen desire for her khichdi that he would have it first before anything else and actually seized the plate in both his hands. Seeing the khichdi, he was so enthused that picking up mouthfuls one upon the other, he eagerly shoved them in his mouth. All watched him fondly with wonder. This eagerness on Baba's part filled their minds with astonishment. But when they had heard the story of the khichdi, they realized how extraordinary were Baba's ways. Absolutely true. This is how the divine great masters work. It's magical actually. But if you really go to see, we think it's a miracle or whatever words you want to say. I always say this magic all around. It's what you believe in. It's definitely not a miracle because they don't perform any miracles. But that is the power that they have. In this context, I'm going to say a very beautiful story about a disciple and my Guruji. So my Guruji, my Krishna Guruji, for a period in time, he was working in. He didn't work. He was asked to be the chairman and a director of company. He was chosen to be. He was asked to guide some of his disciples who had a startup. So he was the chairman of that company for a very short duration. And during that period, he would go in the morning and he would guide everybody. So there was this. He's his ardent disciple, okay? His name is Chitti Rajesh. He's the man behind this entire editing of Krishna Knows. He's the backbone and the back end of, Krishna Knows videos today. And what happened was, he was an intern at that moment in time, working in this company. So that's when he met my Guruji. And the moment he met him, somehow he had this strong, attraction. It felt like my Guruji had only been there so that he could meet him. This Guruji's ways are miraculous. It's amazing. So since then, he would on a regular basis listen to my Guruji's satsang. By the way, he's an M.Tech gold medalist, and he has already been a professor, so he was working there, and as an intern, and I think he was managing there one of the developments, the software development piece. And then every single day he would meet my Guruji and spend time, and my Guruji would give him satsangs. So that way he got attracted to my Guruji, and finally he would start meeting my Guruji for other satsangs on weekends, and he would come to my Guruji's home in Bangalore where he was earlier residing. So like that his fondness grew, and suddenly one fine day my Guruji all of a sudden said, this is it, in 2016 he quit everything. He said, I'm going to be moving to Goa. And Chitti was sitting right there in front of him, and my Guruji asked, do you want to come with me? He said, of course, yes. You know what? This boy left everything and he just went with my Guruji. That is the greatness of his devotion. This is how he met my Guruji. And since then, he is an ardent devotee of my Guruji, Lord Krishna, and today he is one of the ashram mates here. We three live in this Krishna ashram. How sweet is that? And I'm not joking. He does so much seva to my Guruji. He every single day he has certain things which he does. He does everything. He does the shooting. He does editing. He organizes so many different things. He's hands-on on different things. And my Guruji every single day has taught him endlessly. So that's the way. And I believe, and I now strongly believe, the only reason why he was there in that company, because Chitti had to meet him. Had it not been that, how would have we met him? So the Lord and the Guru's ways of working and getting people drawn to them are just unfathomable. You cannot even imagine. And even, the greatest of some of his students, even me, it has taken me a while to take the decision to give up and come and live with my Guruji. It has not been so easy, but this boy, at just one go, he left everything, resigned from the company and just went with my Guruji. That's it. That is the power of devotion. That is Guru Bhakti. One has to have that. It doesn't come so easy for everybody. My Guruji's grace was on him, and he was able to do that. But see, that's a self-effort. See, there are two aspects to it, okay? One is the grace. Definitely, I will give a multi-dimensional view to this, okay? One is definitely the grace of the Guruji. Unless the Guruji's grace is not there, you cannot do that. Next is you're already programmed to do that. But the third important thing is the self-effort. You have to make the decision right there. Because you cannot today use your ego and say, oh, I did this. No, I did this not. It is a grace. It's also the self-effort, and you were also programmed to take that path. But the choice is definitely in your hands. Like my Guruji would always say, you need to do that. Self-effort, grace, all these three things matter together. And he was already programmed to do that. But his love, that is what I care about. He wanted to be with my Guruji, and so although since 2016, he's been here with us, an integral part of Krishna ashram. He's the first ashramite. He's the first one to be here. I am still the second one, no matter what. That was his greatness. How sweet is it? But the most important is how beautifully did he meet. This meeting happened. He had only, he had a desire to join army, but somehow he never got selected. And he joined this company only because he had to meet my Guruji. That is how it works. So my Guruji also was there for a while so that he could meet him, no? And whatever the people that he had to influence, or whoever had to meet with him and get that spiritual knowledge, that is the true purpose of why a Guru does what they do. How sweet is it, no? Let us come back. As you listen to the story that follows, your hearts will be overwhelmed with love. It is about a Gujarati Brahmin who suddenly came to Shirdi to serve Baba. He who had served at Rao Bahadur Sate's house in the beginning found refuge at Baba's feet while still serving Sate faithfully. That is also an interesting story. Just listen to how Sri Hari satisfies the longing of him whose heart is filled with love and devotion. The name of this Brahmin was Megha. His association with Sai from previous births brought him to Shirdi. But listen attentively now to his story. Sate was then an assistant collector in the Kheda district, and it was there that he met Megha quite unexpectedly. He took him up in service to perform the daily puja in the Shiva shrine. Later, this Sate came to Shirdi and good fortune smiled on him. He enjoyed Sai's holy company and his mind was at once absorbed at Sai's feet. When he saw the rush of pilgrims there, he resolved that he would have his own vada to be able to come and stay there. He met some leading villagers and acquired the piece of land where in the beginning Baba had appeared. The place was fixed for building the vada. The importance of the sacred place has already been described in the 4th chapter, repetition of which is not called for here. So let us continue our narration. And so, Megha's accumulated merit being great, he met Rao Bahadur Sati, for it was by his ardent efforts that Megha was at once guided to the spiritual path. Overwhelmed by circumstances, he had become neglectful of prescribed acts and observances, but Sate brought him back on the path of righteousness by initiating him into reciting the Gayatri mantra. As Megha began to serve Sate, their mutual respect grew, so much so that to Megha, Sate was his guru, for whom he developed great affection. One day, during a casual conversation, as Sate was praising his own guru, his heart was overcome with love and he said to Megha, I wish with all my heart that I can bathe Baba with the water of holy Ganga, and it is mainly for this purpose that I am sending you to Shirdi. Moreover, when I see your dedicated service to me, I sincerely feel that you should be blessed with the holy company of the Sadguru and develop sincere faith and devotion for him. Your physical existence will then be fulfilled and you will have achieved the highest good in this birth. Go worship the Sadguru's feet with mind, speech and action. Megha then inquired about Baba's caste. Actually, even Sate did not know it. He said some call him Avinda because he lives in a mosque. The moment the word Avindha fell on his ears, Megha was dejected in his mind. There is no creature meaner than a Muslim. Of what worth is he as a guru? But now if he were to say no, Sate would be angry, and if he said yes, he would descend into hell. What should he do? He should not think he was worried and anxious. He was caught between the devil and the deep sea. His mind was wavering and restless. But Sate, in all earnestness, was urging him to go. So he decided that he would go and have darshan. Then Megha came to Shirdi. As he reached the courtyard and began to climb the steps, Baba began his leela. He wore a stern, severe look on his face and picked up a stone saying, Don't you dare put your foot on the step. This is a place inhabited by a Yavan Muslim. Oh, you are a high caste Brahmin and I, the meanest of the mean, a Yavan. You will be polluted. Go back, written this minute. That agitated expression, that flying snappishly at him, it was but another manifestation of Rudra, Shiva, in the Pralaya. The onlookers trembled and Megha too began to shake violently with fear. Absolutely. You know what? A guru, this is a very important thing. You don't judge your Guruji by caste, creed, all that. Gurus are guru. They manifest in a certain body for a certain reason. And that is something none of your business. And I will have to tell you this, my own experience over here. It's not about the caste, but you go by the appearance, the physical appearance that they, that they portray. Having known my Guruji for many years, and I've seen him as the person, and finally when I met him as my Guru, I could not correlate back to the person. All I could see him as the Lord Almighty. To me, he is my Krishna. I only can see the reflection of Krishna. I can see only Krishna in him, nothing else. So when he would portray a normal behavior in front of people associated with him and around him in the society, when he had to portray that for the material worldly people, it would cause disturbance in my mind. It was my mind which was very disturbed. It's not about him, it was about my mind. And it was a very difficult thing. And then I realized, but what my Guruji has to be in the material world. He just portrays, it's only a portrayal of the behavior. But for me, he's not Almighty, he's not Shri Krishna. How can he behave so ordinarily like a human being? So that was a conflict in my mind constantly. And I had to battle my own mind to overcome this. And it's a very beautiful, the way my Guruji will talk, and how sometimes because of that, people will fall for his Maya, thinking that he's an ordinary human being, and treat him in whatever way they can. But my Guruji has no complaints about it. He'll never stop them from doing it. But for me, and somebody who knows who my Guruji is always a state of disturbance, and I would get angry. So my Guruji will always say, look, you think I can't handle it? It is your mind you need to overcome, which is very true. It is my mind. So it has taken me a long time to have overcome a lot of things. But still, like it said, the tail of the lizard, it just still wriggles. Even the tail is cut off. It's still a little bit of that life is there in that. So that much I still need to overcome. It's the mind that I need to control and overcome. It's not about how my Guruji represents or who treats him how. It is my own mind. Because people are allowed to behave in their own way because they are ignorant. This is what my Guruji teaches. So I did not let my mind to get disturbed. And many a time my Guruji will ask, you think I'm incapable of handling? Of course, he's the Lord Almighty. What makes me think that I'm greater than him? No. That it's not that, but like like Lakshmi Chand says, oh, the people's evil eye has done something to you, you have a bout of cough. So for me, it's like I'm protecting my Guruji always. It's so funny, it's hilarious, but it's just my love. But at the same time, like my Guruji says, it's my mind also I need to conquer. The reason why he makes those events happen, it's not him, the universe. Because I have to progress. I have to overcome my mind and not get swayed with what happens around me. I need to become like how Lord Shri Krishna lives, like the lotus leaf, untouched by the water on it. Absolutely in a serene, peaceful, blissful state. Ever lost in himself, and yet he's the one who's the Sutradhar, the substratum of this everything happening around him. How sweet is that? So let's come back. But this anger was only on the surface, while the heart within was flooded with a loving compassion. Megha was wonderstruck. How did he know my innermost thoughts? Oh, where that faraway Kedar district and where this distant Ahmednagar? Baba's anger is only a reflection of my own mind, so full of doubts. Absolutely true. The more Baba advanced to beat him, the more Megha's courage failed him. And each time he took a step backwards, for he dared not come any nearer. In the same situation, he continued in Shirdi for a few days, trying to gauge Baba's mood. Trying to gauge Baba's mood. He went on serving him in whatever manner he could, but he had no conviction. Later, he went to his own home, where he ran a high temperature and became bedridden. A constant longing for Baba grew within him there. So once again he returned to Shirdi. As he came back, he felt very happy and he stayed on. He developed faith in Sai and became his steadfast devotee. Sai now became his one and only God. Megha was already devoted to Shiva, and as his attachment to Sai's feet grew, he saw Shiva in Sainath. Sai alone was his Umanath Shankar. Absolutely, so true. So when you are in doubt, you cannot understand who this Guru is. So please know that never doubt the great master by how they look, how they appear, by their caste, creed, color. You cannot. Lord Almighty, they are Parabrahman, Guru Sakshat Parabrahman. How can you ever, doubt or, let your petty mind even think let your petty mind have such a thought. Please never ever harbor such thoughts in your mind. In this context, I have to give you a very interesting story that I experienced in my own life with my Krishna Guruji. Just the way Megha was very devoted to Sai, and he could see he experienced his Shiva in Sai. I mean, he was also an ardent devotee of Lord Shiva, so he experienced that Shiva in Sai Baba, right? Similarly, for me, I can experience all the divine beings in my Guruji. Such is the faith. And like I say, as is your faith, so are your experiences. But this just happened at one point in time. I was in Singapore and my Guruji had visited me at that time. So I think we went to, I can't remember which place, it's Cambodia or one of those countries. So we went, and that's when I learned more about Buddhism. My Guruji had just taught what Buddhism is all about. So we were, sitting, and he was doing one satsang, and suddenly the power went off, and there was only few candles, some light. There was some issue with in Singapore there's no electricity cut, but there was some issue, and there was little power. So we're sitting there, and suddenly in that the dim light, I saw Buddha sitting in front of me. I was trying to do my eyes like this. I just did like this a couple of times and said, is it my mind's illusion, or who am I really seeing? And then again I saw, and by the way, my Guruji has hairs, and suddenly I could see no hair over there. And I saw Buddha again, and I'm like, what's happening to me? And I'm trying to again, my Guruji, what's happening to you? Why are you looking at me like that? Again, I tried close, and I'm like looking like this to him, and that's just so funny thing. And I said, please, enough, stop, I can't take it anymore. I only see Buddha in you right now. It is such a profound experience. I cannot even adequately describe in words. It was so beautiful. Literally, Lord Buddha sitting in front of me. Though my Guruji is speaking, I can hear everything, but I'm only seeing Buddha. Wow, that is the most powerful experience I had. Oh yes, I remember. We had gone to Yogyakarta. And my Guruji had explained, not Cambodia, it was Yogyakarta. Very beautiful place in Indonesia. And it's Borobudur. And there we're sitting on this Meru, the Mount Meru, and it's all about Buddhas. It's so beautiful. And that time, and when we came back, this is what I experienced. It was very, very, very powerful. And even today, I'm like, that image is still in my heart. It's just embedded. So that is what it is. You can experience any divine being you want in your Gurudev. But that should be your faith. You know why? They are the universe themselves. They are the Almighty Lord. He's the Almighty Lord. So you can experience anything in your Gurudev. This is something you need to understand. So never doubt your master. So let's see what happened now. By night and day, Megha now ceaselessly chanted the name of Sai Shankar. His mind became one with Sai Shankar, and his heart, cleansed of all blemishes, became pure. Seeing Sai as Shankar, his devotion to Sai became single-minded with Shankar. Shankar on his lips all the time. He refused to accept any other god as his chosen deity. Sai alone now became his daily puja ritual. Sai was his Giriraj Raman Shankar. With this thought firmly fixed in his mind, Megha was always in a happy mood. Shankar is fond of bell leaves, but there is no bale tree in Shirdi. For its leaves, Megha used to walk 2 or 3 miles to satisfy his own desire to offer them to Shankar. What were 2 or 3 miles to him? He would even have crossed a mountain just to get the leaves, so that he could satisfy his wish of performing a proper puja, and fulfill his heartfelt desire. Going long distances, Megha would bring the bell leaves and thus collect all the ingredients for the puja and offer puja to the various village deities in a particular fixed order with proper rites and rituals. Immediately on finishing it, he would go to the mosque, lovingly make obeisance to the seat occupied by Baba, and after pressing Baba's feet, first drink the tirtha, or the sacred water washed off Baba's feet. Oh my God, again, this is a very, very, very important thing. There are 2 important things here which I will explain. When it's very beautiful how Megha experienced Lord Shankar in Baba, and then the worship idol became Baba himself. That is the truth, And then what is Shankar like? What can you offer, right? It's bell leaves. So there is a very important reason. You cannot offer any flower to any gods, There are specifications how the devotional service have to be done. In fact, there's a very beautiful lesson going to come in Uddhav Gita. You should listen to my Krishna Guruji's satsang on Krishna Knows every Saturday and Sunday morning, 6:30 a.m. to 7:30. And in that, there is a very specific chapter about how different ingredients, a particular kind of ingredients is what you have to use to offer the devotional service. There's a huge ritual followed. How do you bathe the gods? There are different things. And in fact, in Krishna ashram, we follow exactly those things. And there will be specific flowers is all we will offer to Lord Shri Krishna here. Nothing. And there are particular incense sticks. Example, our incense stick is made of khas. It comes from one of the particular trees. It's very natural, and its fragrance is amazing. That is what Lord Shri Krishna likes. So you need to offer those particular kinds. You cannot offer anything. And then for Lord Shri Krishna, he likes the flowers which is all fragrant, right? Like jasmine. We call it. I don't know what the English name. It's called. I think champak. I don't know the English name for that. Then there's a few others, different varieties of jasmine flowers. So all those we offer. And then he loves Raat Ki Rani, the night queen. Okay, so we have all those plants in Krishna ashram. So it's very exclusive, selective. That is what you need to offer. So here, whatever Megha is doing is absolutely right. Lord Shiva, we have to offer bell leaves. You can't offer any flowers to Lord Shiva, especially no red flowers. But for Kali Ma, you have to offer the red color flowers. That is the way of doing devotional service. And you must listen to this satsang whenever that happens. But please listen to the Gita. You will really enjoy this. Not just enjoy, you will learn a lot. It's very important to learn and have that knowledge. So in Krishna ashram, we follow this very like the usage of different puja offerings, puja ingredients, what kind of incense sticks, what kind of camphor, everything to the minutest of detail. We exactly follow as prescribed in the scripture, nothing from otherwise. So that's why it's very important. And the second most important thing here, it is said, immediately on finishing it, he would go to the mosque lovingly, make obeisance to the seat occupied by Baba, and after pressing Baba's feet, first drink the tirtha, or the sacred water washed off Baba's feet. Oh my God, this is very important. Again, in Krishna ashram, we do our Guru Puja. We do puja for Krishna Guruji on different occasions. One is during Guru Purnima, second is during Krishna Janmashtami, and now during Dattatreya Jayanti. So during that we do his Paduka Puja. That is how you have to perform the puja. And when we do that, we wash his holy feet. And that is the tirth and the panchamrit which we do the abhishekam. Abhishekam is when, I don't know the, again, English word, it's a Sanskrit word, where you bathe his feet, right? So we then, that is what we accept it as our, the prasad. And when you take that, and then once the water is washed, the holy feet is washed with this water, that is what we drink every single day after our prayers. You know what happens when you do that? Your inner being, your entire being is purified, and then you become like your Guruji. You get the qualities of your Guruji, and all the karmas and sins, it redeems, it removes all our sinful actions, the karmas, whatever it is, it will remove. And then we will get the essence of the Divine Master, so that we also can become like him. That is what it happens. And it is also said, as per the scriptures, once your Guruji eats, right, whatever the leftover is, that is what you have to eat as prasad. But my Guruji will finish otherwise, not like that. But he doesn't want anybody to, eat food from him. But during the main festivals, what my Guruji will do is, his plate is what we will offer all the naivedya and offer it to the God. And from that, what we do is we take some of those food and then we'll put it back in all the dishes, right, where we have the big vessels. And then we offer from that to everybody. So that becomes the prasad. That is how we do. And my Guruji will specifically from his plate, then we'll all ask him, give us some food as a prasad. So my Guruji will very sweetly offer it. But that is how you need to eat. Like again, Shivaji Maharaj would do this with Samarth Ramdas. When Shivaji Maharaj would go meet his Gurudev, he will go with all this fancy food, chappan, bhog and whatnot, with jewelry, clothes, everything. But Samarth Ramdas Maharaj would not even touch anything. He would distribute everything to his disciples, devotees and people around, and Maharaj will only eat that which has come, the bhiksha, the peat, whatever the to make bhakri, they call it bhakri. So the flour that has come from bhiksha, where from begging, taking the alms, he will make that bhakri, and his Samarth Ramdas Maharaj would eat that. And once he eats, whatever that leftover is, that is what Shivaji Maharaj will eat as prasad. That is the amrit, okay? You cannot ask for anything better. So understand, when you drink the holy tea, the water, which is washed the holy feet of the Gurudev, that is the most purifying thing that you can ever do. Sometimes people have this weird habit of, oh, how can you drink water? Oh, that's a water. No, that's not water. For us, it is tea, because Ganga, Yamuna, the entire God Almighty's rest at His feet. The knowledge-based rest at His feet. So when we drink, we purify, we redeem ourselves. So that's a significance here. It's not explained here. I'm explaining to you why that is so important. Hope you understood. So next time when you're offered, never lose the chance of having that teeth. So there are other stories of Megha too, which will delight listeners and will also show Sai's reverence for the village deities and his all-pervasiveness. So long as Megha was in Shirdi, he regularly performed the noonday aarti, but he would first offer puja to all the village deities and then go to the mosque. Such was his daily routine, which one day he missed in spite of his best effort. Khandoba's puja could not be performed that day. He wanted to offer puja as usual, but try as he may, the door could not be opened. So leaving the puja unperformed, he came to the mosque with the aarti. Baba at once said, today there has been a break in your daily puja. All the other gods have been worshipped, but one god remains without the daily puja. Go perform that and then come back. Megha said, Baba, the door was closed, and though I tried to open it, it could not be opened. So perforce I had to omit it. Baba said, go and see again. Now the door is open. Without wasting a moment, Megha went back immediately and experienced the truth of Baba's words. It is absolutely true. This is something I have experienced so much. But I'm not going to start with another story because I will not be able to complete, because we are almost at the end of the hour. So let me finish with few more words and we'll stop here. But there's a very important story which I will narrate during my next few satsangs, okay? He then offered puja to Khanderaya. In this way, his own restlessness was also calmed. Baba then allowed Megha to do this puja. This is a very, very important thing. I have experienced many times myself, and I'll just tell you in a very short manner. When I say, oh, I went to some shop, I didn't get, my Guruji will say, go to that particular shop, it's there. I said, no, I already went there, it was not there. He'll say, go now. The moment he says, go now, and if you follow it, I'm not joking, it will very much be there. I'll give you a very short instance. I had to go to the Aadhaar updation, the new address updation. My Guruji, before even this had come about, he said, oh, this is the Bangalore one office. They do Aadhaar updations here. He had just said that, okay? And I told him last year it was not there. And then I told him, okay, let me go and do it in the post office where I got it done last year. So I went there. You wouldn't believe, the particular day I went, that particular day the server was not functioning, so the Aadhaar portal was not opening at all, no matter how many times he tried. Then they told me I could go to the Axis Bank. I went to the Axis Bank. Unfortunately, they said today the system is not working. I remembered my Guruji telling there is Bangalore one, and there was another person also in Axis Bank who said Bangalore one has now they've reconvened, they've started the Aadhaar updations over there, you can go there. So I remembered my Guruji's words. I'm like, oh God, I have to somehow today get this Aadhaar updation done. I can't go back not doing this. I've taken all the time out, put so much effort and all. Then I remembered, let me go, my Guruji is with me. I'm sure that day from his mouth, the word he said, go to Bangalore one had come. And because I did not, I used my mind and said, no, oh, it's not there. without listening to him means it is my fault, because when the word comes from your Guruji's mouth, that is gospel truth. Even if the object is not there, it will come to be, because the word has already come out from your Guru's mouth. That is the power of his words. It's not the object exists and then he says the words. It is because the word comes from his mouth, the object gets created. You need to know. If he says the door is open, go now, means yes, the door will be open. So I went back to the Bangalore one, and then the server was working fine there. But in the post office, it didn't work. Why? Because my Guruji had very clearly told me, go to Bangalore one and get your Aadhaar updation done. So if I use my mind with my own self-conceit and self-deceit, it is not going to happen. You try as many times as you want. It will never happen in the post office. Then after that, I went there. Since I didn't have a token, everything, I fought my way through. He makes magic. And then I was able to get it done and come back. That is the greatness of the words that come out from your Guru's mouth. It is exactly what they experience. So we'll stop here at verse 162. We're end of the hour. Thank you for joining Sai Satcharita Parayan. I hope you had a very good day today and have a very good weekend. See you on Monday. Om Shri Mahaganapatiye Namaha. Om Shri Gurudev Datta. Om Shri Sachidananda Sadguru Sai Nath Maharaj Ki Jai. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Digambara Digambara Shripad Vallabha Digambara. Om Shri Krishna Gurunatha Shri Guruve Namaha. Om Devi Durgaya Namaha. Om Shri Krishna Arpanam Namastu. Krishnam Vande Jagat Guru.